So
that'll be the next step. I'm gonna take a seat if I can.
yeah,
You don't gotta keep,
yeah, cool. So I don't know if everyone knows. I'll introduce myself and then just ask some questions about things. But my name is Amkor Desai. I'm currently the chair of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences. I've been here 15 years and have been chair for 2. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to coming back to this space, which I think many of you have called the map room. And I don't know, did you have memories from this place? Did you spend time in this room?
Yeah, this room and then when the map room was in the other room for a while. And teletype, it's coming back, my memory's not good yet, but this was the main map room.
Yeah, and for me, the teletype and fax room was across the hall, and the display was in the hall, rather than, this didn't exist
Right.
in those days.
Yeah. So, I mean, those kinds of stories are the stories I've heard from other alumni as well, that this was a space that was important for alumni who were coming, or for students when they were into programs, a place to directly look at live weather charts as they were coming in, to have a place to socialize about the weather. And it's something, most recently I was chatting with Louis Cellini, who mentioned just how important being able to watch the pressure trace that was coming in with the Lake Superior storm during his time here, and that was coming data that was, I think, collected on this floor and then brought into a display or some sort of chart that was being printed. It just really heartens me to think that this was a space that was really important for a lot of alumni. And so this year, what we're doing is really trying to make this space come back. Over the last decade, it's really fallen into disuse as a storage space more than anything. The students tend to spend as much time in front of their laptops, and I kind of want to get them away from that and really kind of revive that interaction and social space that they had here. So we are rebranding this room. We're going to call this the UW Alumni Lounge, and part of that is because of some of the generous support and donations from alumni is what is allowing us to be able to support the renovations of this space. You can see on the wall a couple of mock-ups of this space. These are just kind of initial drawings of the furniture. They're not super detailed, but they give you a sense of what we're hoping to do. So we've already started with the carpeting and the paint and removing all the old material, and Christy, our department administrator, has been kind of in charge of getting a lot of students to build some muscles and get everything out of here. But our hope is to build a little bit more of a social space and lounge space, space for coffee and serving over here, potentially a couple weather displays where we can look at real-time weather. Of course, now everything is electronic, but still have some ability to look at the rooftop weather in real time, similar to what we have downstairs, some displays that Pete has built for some of the other rooms as well. And then potentially also some historic charts, also recognizing our alumni, including with our alumni award plaques, and using this as a space for gathering when all of you come to visit. Use it as a space for students to spend time in. By being across from the undergraduate student lounge, we also then kind of have this as a combined space for building community. And I think this is something that this department has really historically done really well. I was recently just at Penn State last week, and we were there for recognizing some alumni, but one of the things I realized while talking to a lot of the folks there was how many of them had a connection to this place. How many of them got a degree at University of Wisconsin? How many of the faculty over there or the deans over there had spent some time in this university, in this building, whether or not they were AOS majors or meteorology majors. And I think it really talks to the fact that we have this worldwide breadth of what all of you do, what all of the alumni everywhere do in bringing just a lot of excellence that we see as folks come out of here, and being able to have a space where we can recognize that, and just thanking all of you for really being supporters of this department and for being here and for providing mentoring to our students, for providing funding to our department funds and scholarship funds. Just in the last few weeks, we've been able to fund some really exciting initiatives. We're sending, I think, 9 students to undergraduate seniors to AMS in Denver. Earlier in this fall, we sent 2 graduate students to Indonesia to work on some projects related to trout peatland conservation and monsoon dynamics. In the summer, we sent a graduate student to France. We had some new affinity groups specifically for underrepresented students where we've been able to support with space and food. And these are all the types of activities and things we can do because of your support and your boosterism and your connection. We have, according to Eric, we have 51 majors right now, which is the largest.
More this week.
Okay, so now 57 majors,
68 more this
which
year,
is the
so
largest we've
crazy.
had in at least 20 years. That's as far as we have the easily access online data. We might have had majors classes larger in the past, but we were down to as low as 17. So this is a big change. We are a place that people want to be and that students are seeking out. When I talk to our undergraduate freshmen sometime, one of the things we learn is a lot of them have decided they wanted to study atmospheric science way back, maybe high school, maybe middle school, and they picked this school after doing research on what are the top places to study. And I think that really points out that we are continue to be an attractive space. We also now have an environmental sciences major that we also administer, and that also has a couple hundred students in that, and that is also growing in popularity in an area. And then as Caitlin is our program coordinator with John as the director of our professional program, which is now in its third year, and it's been having a steady cohort of students coming in, or between about 5 to 10 students a year, who are doing one-year master's degrees with an internship-based component. And I think like last year we had all 12 students in really cool internships. I think most of them are employed now in the discipline, and it's really providing a new pathway for our own undergraduates to be able to do a 5 years combined bachelor's master's degree, as well as students from all over the world to come in and have that opportunity to have graduate level education, but not necessarily go through that whole process of getting into research, which is not their primary interest. Meanwhile, our research program is continuing to grow. I think we brought in about 18 or 19 graduate students to our master's and PhD thesis programs. It's also grown now back up to about 60 plus graduate students. It's a really dynamic program, and it's growing. We just hired our most recent faculty, so we're up to 18 faculty, and that's Myra Oyala Merced. I think she was downstairs in Weather Watch, and so you might have had a chance to meet her there. But she brings in all sorts of expertise in upper atmosphere remote sensing and global climate dynamics. She was formerly at NASA Jet Propulsion Lab as a scientist, and so we were able to convince her to come here, which we're really excited about. And we also, of course, noted the retirement of Greg Tripoli, who was here for quite some time, and that's a loss for us. But I think we are moving forward with a really dynamic cohort of faculty. We have 7 faculty who were hired in the last 3 years. Very diverse. 5 of them are women. 3 of them are underrepresented minorities. They do everything from climate to remote sensing to weather systems type research all over the world. In flying an aircraft, using satellites, running models that generate amazing high resolution data. So suffice to say, there's a lot going on in this department. I wouldn't also be doing my job if I didn't tell folks that we still have about 4 more hours for Fill to Hill if you want your own flamingo and donate to the department for $250. This is the one I have in my house, so I forgot to bring it in. But this is an opportunity. We rely very much on alumni support to do everything from conferences to instructional supplies to supporting renovations of rooms like this. And the final thing I'll say is that next year is our 75th anniversary of the department, which is lined up with the 175th anniversary of the university. And in many ways, the history of atmospheric sciences at this university actually goes into its founding, because part of the charter focused on weather and climate for agriculture, and that led eventually to the founding of this department 100 years later. So next year, probably in October, John is leading a committee along with some alumni and students and other faculty to put up a 1 or 2 day event. We're currently looking at October 2023. And we hope to see many of you there, and we'll hope be able to have a lot of memories, but also really focus on looking to the future and hearing from a lot of our faculty and students about the types of research they're doing, the types of ideas they're doing, what they do in the classroom. So please do come. We'll be sharing some more information. We'll formally announce it at our reception at the AMS meeting in Denver, so that's in January. Where we will also be announcing and unveiling the AOS Alumni Award winner. We're really excited about this year's winner, and she is going to be there in person. So please do come to the AMS reception. You don't have to register for the AMS meeting to attend a reception. So I think I'll leave it at that, and thanks, and I know there's pizza up on the roof, so those of you who aren't here, I'm sorry, but please do come visit. As you know, Pete is the master of rooftop selfies, so I think that's a requirement now of post-graduation is to come back and get that selfie, so come do that, and thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linker.
You mentioned 57 now?
Yeah, 57 majors.
Okay, so I'm skipping my head, I might, the low amount was 17?
The 17 in 2017 is what Eric told me. But one thing we changed was that we do allow declaring earlier. So it used to be that you had to get through all the prerequisites.
Gotcha.
So that's allowing us to capture more freshmen and sophomores who want to major in meteorology, and they can get into the department, be involved with the undergraduates, come to Weather Watch while they're working on their requisites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's part. So part of it is just that change, but a lot of it is that more students are showing up every day. So I think our junior class is 24 students. So that is,
Oh, that's incredible.
yeah.
Yep. Many